Hi guys, my name is Zia or Zaya, whichever one you want to call me. It is Thursday. I've been looking forward to this day, guys. This week I've been like so excited for today. So it is Thursday and I'm back again with another review of The Wife. So let's get started with this episode. So yeah, I am doing another review of The Wife. This is episode 34, 35 and 36, and whew, what? A lot happened this week. I'm very excited about it, so let me just get right into it so I don't waste too much time. So episode 34, it opens up with Qhawe and Mandisa at the hotel, and they are celebrating because I mean they just stole a whole lot of cash, so they're just like throwing the money around and like excited. They're drinking some champagne and they are doing the usual. So they just like making up mad, and Mandisa's like really excited, like it's like a thrill for her. This is her first job, so Qhawe's like used to this, but anyways, so she's like, oh, me and you could do this, like this is so exciting and whatnot. So Qhawe's just like not even thinking that. In my head I'm just thinking, girl, if only you knew this man is about to dip with that money. But so it goes from them to Qhawe in his walk-in closet, and he is about to walk out the door when he sees a paper bag. So the paper bag that's there is the paper bag that Langa and Bontle had when they came to surprise Hlomu that day. She told them she had the miscarriage. So he takes it and he looks inside. As he pulls out the stuff, it's baby clothes. So he's confused. And then he walks out, and then he's just like to Hlomu, he walks to the bathroom and he's like, what is this? And it's like a man, basically, like, who's this for? And she's like, oh no, it's for a colleague of mine. And then she's like, what, for what? Like, oh no, there's a baby shower at work today. And he's like, you just bought these things? Do you need money? And she's like, no, I don't. And he's like, I don't want people thinking that we're stingy. And then she's like, no, she said she's gonna buy like most of the stuff, so it's fine. So he's like, okay. So she's lotioning her body, and then he's like, do you want me to help you? And then he comes behind her, and you know he's in the mood. So she's not in the mood. So she's like, no, she's fine. So he gets very disappointed that she said no. But she's like, okay, I'm gonna go. And then he leaves. So when he leaves, like, her face is just like looking at this stuff that is in this bag, and all the loss just came back to her at that moment. So it moves from Hlomu and it goes to Balesa waking up alien in bed, and she's like, Qhawe did his disappearing act. So she's like, Qhawe, and Qhawe's not there. And then she's like, oh, maybe he went to buy me something. If only you knew, sis. And she calls him. His phone goes straight to voicemail. So she's like, oh, maybe it's just the network. So she calls him again, still voicemail. And then she starts panicking. Yo, she jumps out of bed. When she jumps out of bed, she looks for the money. The money is gone. Qhawe is gone with the money. And then it goes to Nkokli and Tiga, but I'm not going to mention that part because they are with the senior citizens. So yeah, I skipped right through that part. From them, it goes to Hlomu, and she's in her car. She's still at home. She hasn't left for work. So she's sitting in the car. She's dazed. She doesn't even see Qhawe come out of the house. So Qhawe comes out of the house and goes by the taxi that's parked next to her. And then he sees her, like he can see that she's very far away. So he goes to her and he greets, and then she's like, hi. And then he's like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, no, I'm fine. And he's like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh no, I just wanted to come and say hi. And then she's like, no, you're right. And then Qhawe is walking away. She's like, Qhawe. So he comes back and she's like, can you take me to work today? And then he's like, oh yeah, no, okay, that's fine. She's like, no, I just don't feel too well. Like, okay. So he takes her stuff, well, and then they go. And it goes back to Balesa. Balesa is looking for Qhawe literally up and down that hotel. And then she bumps into the guy that she told that Qhawe is working for her, is her concierge for her stay. So she's like, have you seen Qhawe? And then she's like, no, it's Temba. And then this guy's like, no, I haven't seen him. And she's like, could you please like look for him? I'm trying to find him. So she doesn't want to say what it is that she wants from him, but she's like, can you please just find him for me everywhere? Look for him everywhere. I need to find him. And he's like, okay, cool. And then it goes to Qhawe and Hlomu. So Hlomu is in a daze, like she is in a daze. So Qhawe is just like, over here, I noticed that you haven't said anything since we've left home. Like, is everything okay? And she's like, yeah. And it's like between when and Qhawe. And she's like, no, everything is fine. And he's like, Hlomu, you know you can tell me anything. You know you can tell me, right? If something is not right. And then he holds her hand. And in that moment, she wants to say but she doesn't. And then she's like, could you please like fetch me from work in the afternoon? And he's like, oh no, I'll call Qhawe to come and pick you up. And she's like, no. Like, immediately she's like, no. And then he's like, why? And then she doesn't want to answer. And then she says, no, it's fine, I'll take myself back home. I'll get myself back home. And he's like, no, it's fine, I'll come and pick you up. And then she's like, okay. So she leaves. So you can tell, and Qhawe is already like, I think, kind of putting two and two together. Like he's worried why she is acting like this. So anyway, she leaves, and then it goes back to it goes to Qhawe. So Qhawe is at his house, and he's putting the money away in like a tin box, like tin boxes. So Mandisa comes in, and she's like excited to see all this money. She's like, oh. And then he's like, no, this is not my money. Like, it's not my money. It's Yagankosana Noza. And she's like, what? I asked you for a simple thing, like a trip, like to go on a trip, and you can't even do that for me, and you have all this money for your brothers? Like, in this house, in this family, auntie, what am I? Like, I haven't received anything from you or anyone. I haven't received a car. I haven't been bought a house. So Qhawe was just like, not interested in this conversation because yeah, this money is not his. So she's like to him, so what is she to this family? Like, is she nothing? Because the other wives seem to be taken care of, and she can't even get a simple thing like a trip. And I was like, dude, I don't have time for this, you know. I don't have time for you and your moods right now. So he kind of just like brushes it off, like he brushes her off, and he doesn't want to hear it. And then it goes to Hlomu, and she's at work, and she goes straight, when she walks in, she goes straight for Bontle in the kitchen, and she's like, when I saw Wazungin, there was a manch. And Bontle's like, what do you mean? It's like, when you know how to go to my husband and tell them that I wasn't at work. And then she's like, I was worried about you, and I wanted to see if you're okay. And Lux was wanted to find out, and she's like, don't tell me about Lux, and ungazongenzi ngane ngoba ngathi awusazi ukuthi indawo yakho ikuphi. So Winter's just like, dude. And then she walks away. And then it goes to Balesa again, and she's at the bar, and she is throwing them back. Like, she's just like throwing them back. And this guy is like, ma'am, it's a bit too early. I gotta shine at 12. Like, and you're drinking like this. And she, like, you can't be telling me, like, I can't be drinking. I just lost a whole lot of millions. And then the guy comes back, the manager comes back to her, and he's like, I can't find him anywhere, and he's not even in our books. So obviously he's not in the books because he's not an employee. Duh. So she is losing it, guys. Like, she's losing it. Probably getting hot flushes sitting at that bar. And then it goes to the taxi rank, and Qhawe is with some taxi drivers there, and they're having a conversation. So they offer him food, and he's like, no, he declines. He's like, no, he has food waiting for him at home since he has a wife. And then they're like, oh, since you have a wife, we are papa. And he's like, yeah, that's how it is. I mean, I'm taken care of, not like you guys. That's why you will always be Ishimane, not me. So they're just like having fun banter there. And then it goes back to Hlomu. And she's sitting at her desk. She is really not okay. Like, she is snappy. Like, she is so snappy. Like, every little thing anyone says, she just like snaps. So Buntle says to her, so are you gonna tell me where you were yesterday? Because I won't be able to cover for you with Lux anymore. So my mom was just like, yo, like, she's just like annoyed. Like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to anyone about anything. So Buntle's just like, okay. And then she takes her phone and she texts Qhawe. And it says, Mkhele hit me again. Qhawe is at the taxi rank. He's looking at Mkhele and the guys when he gets that text. So he was just like laying on the seat. And then when he gets that text, he looks out the window and he sees Mkhele, and you can see the wheels turning in his head. So Mkhele is busy talking with this guy. Qhawe comes and he just punches him. I wanted Qhawe to beat him, like properly beat him, because he deserves it. Like, he deserves to know how it feels. Like, to feel how it is to ukshaywa. Because, I mean, like, he's been beating this poor girl and, like, no consequences have been given to him. So Qhawe is just, like, beating him. And Mkhele is confused, Guti, what's going on? It's like, what is your problem? And Qhawe is just like, what did you do? And he's just, like, punching him. And as he's about to hit him with a rod, Nkosana, Sambulo, and Ngoba come and they stop the fight. They're like, are you guys crazy? What is going on? What has gotten into you? And Mkhele's just like, Ngenzeni. And Nkosana's just like, what is wrong with you? Like, are you guys crazy? What's going on? And Qhawe can't even speak because he is so upset. Like, he's that upset, he can't even speak. After that, it goes to Ngoba and Nkosana in Ngoba's bedroom. So Ngoba is showing Nkosana the money. So he's like, this is what she needed. Like, I got something for you. And then Nkosana's just like, what's going on? It's like, close the door. So he opens his wardrobe and he takes out these boxes. And he's like, you can call the commissioner because I've got the balance for how much she needed. Nkosana's just like, where did you get this money from? It's like, don't even ask me the question. Just know that this is the money that you needed to get Uza out. Nkosana is just like speechless. He's like, I don't know how I'm going to thank you. Like, this means so much to me. So he's like, thank you so much. And he gives him a hug. So it ends with them. And then it goes on to episode 35, and it is A Night to Remember. Woo! The title says it all, as you can hear, A Night to Remember. So someone's going to be having a good time. So it opens up with Qhawe, Mkhele, Nkosana, and the whole brothers, all of them sitting in the dining room. And Nkosana is just like, I am tired of you two. I thought we had moved on from this quarrel that you guys had. What is going on? You guys fighting like that? Are you embarrassing the family? I didn't raise you like that. What's happening? And then he's like, Qhawe, what's going on? And Qhawe's like, that's not the question you should be asking me. Ask him. So Mkhele is just like confused, like, oh, ask me what? Like, he just has that face, like, ask me what? And then it's like, Nkosana's like, no, I'm not asking Mkhele, I'm asking you. Qhawe is like, Ushayi Hlomu. And Mkhele's face is just like, what? And then he's like, it's not the first time that he's done it either. And they look at him, like, literally all of them, they turn and they look at him, like, what? And then Nkosana says they need to call Hlomu so she can answer for herself. So Hlomu comes down and they ask her, Gosana's just like, Qhawe is telling me that Mkhele hit you. So she's just like, what? Like she's shocked, like that Qhawe would actually tell on Mkhele. And Gosana's just like, I want to find out from you if that's true. And then she looks at Mkhele, and Ngoba's like, "Ay, ungambuki lo." Basically, don't look at him, answer the question. And then she's like, yes, he has. And then Gosana's like, how many times? And then she's like, twice. Yo, guys, the room just became small from Qhawe. Like, it just became so small. It shrank so much. Gosana looks at him and is like, what? You came to me and you told me about this girl, and we went to her home. Sayokhokhele lobola for her, and abazalwane, they didn't want you. But because she loved you, she chose you and defied her parents. So, and then you're gonna come and you hit her. And then I took her to our family home, and then I introduced her to our ancestors, and I told you, Guti, this is our mother and you can't hit her. And you do that? What do you have to say for yourself? So Mkhele apologizes to Hlomu. Is like, I know I promised to love, protect you and care for you, and I haven't done that. And at that time, Hlomu is just looking at him with so much hate. At that moment, like, she gave him a look that she has never given him before. And you could feel the emotions that she was feeling towards him, and it wasn't love. It wasn't love at all. Like, the look that she had on her face was just like... And he's like, I think I do what I do because of what happened to us when we were younger. I saw our mother get killed, and everyone's like, huh? It's like, yeah, I saw her. Not that I heard about her getting killed. I saw her get killed. I was there. And everyone's just like shocked. And then it moves to Balisa. Balisa's driving, and she is just like trying to call Ngoba again, and it goes straight to voicemail. And she's like, and I'm thinking, what is she gonna do? They stole the money. It's not like it belongs to her. It's money that is stolen from other people, so it's not like she can get those people involved because she was part of the problem. But yeah, she smirks, and then she carries on driving, and then it goes to Mgodli and Ziga. And yeah, I'm gonna skip right through that one also because it involves the senior citizens. And yeah, they bore me to death. So it goes to the brothers again, and everyone's just like, and Khale's just like reiterating that, yes, I saw our mother get killed, and that's why I have so much anger, like that's why I am like this. And then Qhawe's like, I saw our father get killed. It's like secrets are just coming out, and then they turn to him like, huh? It's like, yeah, I also saw our father get killed, and I saw killing him with a spear and putting it through his heart, and you don't see me hitting women. And Ngoba is like, exactly. So Ngoba is just like co-signing what Qhawe is saying, which is the truth. Qhawe also has the same amount of trauma as Mkhele, but like, he does not beat anybody. If you're not a man, yes, he does not beat anyone. And like, it doesn't make sense for Mkhele to just make an excuse out of seeing his mother get killed and saying that that's the reason why he is the way that he is. So they're like, no, that does not give you permission to do that. So Gosana turns to Hlomu, and he's like, in this family, we punish people for all their wrongdoings. Everything that you do, every action has a consequence. So Makoti, what would you like to happen to him? She was just like, huh? She's like, I don't feel too well. I need to go. And she stands up. Like, she was out of there like the flash, guys. She was out of there so quick. I think with Hlomu, as much as Mkhele has hurt her, hurting him back is gonna be hard for her. But I don't think she wants to see him hurt also. because she loves him that much. So that's why she hasn't told him about the miscarriage also. So she stands up and she walks up. So everyone's just like, really? When my Hlomu walks up, Qhawe tries to go with her. And it's like, Ngoba's just like, we up when? Shalala. Where are you going? Where do you think you're getting? Where do you think you're going? Because this is about you. She may not want to give you any punishment, but we definitely will be. When he sits down, it's like, yeah, shalala. And that thing is not them having words. The thing is going to be him getting beat. And which he so deserves. Like, Qhawe has skated so much and with no consequences. So I'm glad he's finally getting what is owed to him. So he sits down. And then Ngoba's just like, okay, since she's not going to do it, we have to do it. And he's taking off his rings. So he is ready to give Qhawe the punishment he's been asking for. And then Ngoba turns to Nkosana and is like, Bafo, that leaves it up to you to say what happens. And then so it moves to Mkotli and Ziga, but yeah, skip again. And then it goes back to the brothers and they at the home, and Qhawe is behind the chair and is holding it. And Ngoba and Nkosana appear with whips. And Nkosana's just like, I'm so disappointed in you. And they start beating him with the whips. And the way this guy has ingani ngakhona, like unengani Mqhele, he does not cry. Like, he does not cry, does not make a move. The only thing he does, like, literally, just like when Hlomu's dad was beating him, he does the same exact reaction and expressions. And Sambulo and Qhawe are just sitting by the table and they're watching all of this unfold in front of them. So I think they just don't feel like the whips are doing the job. So Ngoba drops his first and he punches him. So Qhawe tries to hold him. He's like, no. There's no buseling here. You are just getting beat. There's no fighting. No, we're not fighting here. You are just getting a hiding, like the errant child that you are. You deserve to be punished for your behavior. So they drop him to the floor and they punch him and they kick him, and I'm just like, cho. Exactly what he deserves. I wish it was worse, but yeah. And then it moves from them to Nkosana. And he's in his office and he's calling the commissioner. So he's like, we need to meet. I have your money. So the commissioner's like, no, I'm not in town today. We can do it tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. And he's like, I'm afraid to even ask you how you got it. And he's like, don't even ask. Like, that's not a conversation we need to have. So I'll see you tomorrow and I'll give you imbasa yako. And commissioner's like, that's great to hear. I'm so excited. I'll see you tomorrow. And then it moves from Nkosana, it goes to Hlomu, and she is visiting an unlikely person that she's visiting someone she should not be visiting at all. So she gets there and she's visiting Sandile. Sandile's in the kitchen and he is cooking. He's naked, basically half naked. And then he goes to the door and he opens and it's Hlomu, and he's just like confused why she's there. So she's like, hi, and she has like a bottle of wine and she's like, hi, and then she basically invites herself in before he does. And she walks in and she's like, it smells so nice in here. And she's like, yeah, I'm making pasta, seafood pasta, I think that's what he said. I'm making seafood pasta. And she's like, oh, okay. Get some glasses. So he's confused. Like, I'm confused. I'm just like, sis, what are you doing here? So he's also confused, but he gets the glasses anyways. She opens the wine and she pours it for them. Yeah, she pours it to the brim. She needs to drink. She has too many problems. So she pours it to the brim and he laughs, and yeah, whatever. And then it moves from them, it goes to Nkosana, and he's visiting Zar at the prison. So he's telling Zar that I've hlanganisa the money, like imali seyihlangene, and you are gonna be out of here very soon. So she's like, for real? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, how? And he's like, don't ask that question, just know that you're gonna be out of here very soon. And she's just like, oh, relief, like relief on her face. And she's like, oh, thank you. And she gives him a kiss and she holds him. And you can tell that she really misses touching him, like just being around him in general. So he's like, yeah, you're going to be out of here soon. So she's like, thank you. And then it moves from them and it goes to Balesa. Balesa shows up at Ngoba's place. Shows up at Ngoba's place and Mandisa's like, Sivalile. And she's like, I know. And she's like, yeah, then you can leave. And Balesa comes closer and she sits down basically. So Mandisa takes out her okap and Balisa's like, no, I'm not here to hurt you. And she's like, then what are you here for? I said, let me just guess. And Mandisa's just like, hey, wena? And she's like, I'm Ngoba's girlfriend. Guys, the confidence that Balisa has to even utter those words. So she's like, I'm Ngoba's girlfriend. Mandisa's just like, huh? So you came here to tell me that, basically. And she's like, no. Ngoba stole money from me. So Mandisa's just like, yeah, he stole money from me and me and him were out. We took a trip. So when she says that, I'm just like seeing Mandisa's wheels, like, a trip? You and my man took a trip? And she shows Mandisa the pictures. So Mandisa's like, when I can do that EP. She's like, okay, so you've shown me. So what must happen? Like, what do you want me to do? And Balisa's just like, when you see him, tell him that I want my money. And then she leaves her business card. And she puts her business card on the table. And Mandisa takes a knife and she puts it on the table like this. Like, you can leave now. And then she walks out. She takes the card and she takes a knife and puts it on the card. And she literally just swipes it. And she's like, ha. I'm just like, the disrespect of Balisa. Like, the girl, the confidence, the fact that you're gonna go to another woman who you are also just like cheating on your husband, and then you're gonna tell her that her husband is busy with you and stole money from you. What did she think was gonna happen? But anyways, it moves on from them. It goes to Hlomu and Sandile, and they had just finished their dinner. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, this hurt me. Like, it hurt me in the book, it hurt me seeing it. Like, as much as Mkhele is nonsense, but like, I don't want him to be cheated on. Yeah, she made the first move, she initiated it, whereas in the book she didn't. So in this instance, I feel like she's doing it because she's vulnerable and she just wants to feel something. She just wants to feel something that she hasn't felt in a long time, and she's not gonna seek it from her partner, from her husband, because he's the one who has caused her to not feel what she needs to feel. So she's gonna go out and look for it. So basically, Sandile takes the plates and goes to the kitchen. She follows him and she stands by the counter and she kisses him. So he doesn't return the kiss initially, and then she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, I should go. She walks away and she's about to take her bag. He's like, no, it's okay, don't leave. And then yeah, he decides to to do it also, because I mean, like, 7 years. 7 years he was with her and she never gave him the pee. So yeah, like 7 years, 8 years later, 9 years later, and he is still holding the torch that she is the woman for him, I guess, unfortunately. But yeah, they start making out. They move from the kitchen or the dining area, living area, and they go to the bedroom and it goes down. So yeah, they do their thing. It ends with them, and it moves to episode 36. Hell hath no fury, I guess, over a woman scorned. And yo, this episode, what? This episode was insane, guys. This episode had me chesting so hard. Like, it had me chesting so hard. Like, I my mom thought I was dying because I was watching it in my bedroom, and I kept on like screaming because I was just like, oh, what is going on? So it opens with Hlomu and Sandile, and it's like a walk of shame. Yeah, like they're not holding hands or anything. So she walks out, and they walk out, and he's walking her to a car. So they stand there by the pavement. God, you guys, yo, my chest was beating so fast, like during the scene, because when that was happening, Sandile and Hlomu standing by the pavement, Sandile gets closer to Hlomu and holds her like this, and she smiles at him and he kisses her. When he does that, Qhawe is watching, guys. Qhawe is watching, like, I was dying. I was having an episode. So Qhawe is watching, and he's smoking. Like, his face, he had that look in his face. He had that look that is always just like so scary. And seeing every time he has that look, I always get scared because I know something bad is gonna happen. So yeah, he kisses Hlomu, and Hlomu gets in the car. Qhawe drops his cigarette, steps on it. I'm thinking, yo, it's about to go down. So it moves from them and it goes to Qhawe. Qhawe is in his room and he's having a nightmare. So he keeps on saying Banda's name and keeps on mentioning the plate number. So in the episode where they were doing the heist, there was a plate number that remember when Hlomu found out that a plate number was found in the crime scene. That's the one that she took a picture of, and it had Bande's fingerprints on it. So he's busy thinking about Bande and the plate number. So he keeps on saying Bande, plate number, Bande, plate number. So he's having like a nightmare about it. And then Kusana comes and wakes him. So he wakes up startled, and he's like, oh, you need to wake up. We are meeting the commissioner today, so I need everybody to meet today. So Qhawe is like, okay, what time? He's like, and where? So he's like, we're meeting at Ngoba's place at 5 o'clock, so don't be late. And then he's like, okay, I'll be there. And he's like, yeah, finally, you're getting a happy ending. He's like, yeah, it's about time. I mean, like, I'm tired of us doing a heist, so no more heist after this. Like, after we get out, like, no more heist. And he's like, yeah, I'm sure you're happy. He's like, yeah, I'm very excited to have her back home where she belongs. So he's like, yeah, wake up. You're busy here dreaming about plate numbers. So he laughs about it and he leaves. And then he goes to Ngoba, and he's at his house and he's taking the money out from the boxes, from the cases, and he's putting it in the bag. So Mandisa comes in again and she sits down. So she's very sour because of what she received yesterday about the news from Valesa. And Ngoba's very excited, guys. Like, he is so happy, so jolly, because I mean, like, this is money that's gonna go to save his brother's girl. So Mandisa comes and sits down, and she tries to poke at him, basically. So Ngoba's just like, dude, like you are just like the leopard print that you're wearing. I was done. So he's like, you just like the leopard print that you're wearing. A leopard never changes the spots. You are just like that. Like, can you just not one day? Can you just like give me one day where you are not like that? And then she's just like what? Like the way that you are. Like, I'm not in the mood to fight with you today. And like, she's like, no, I'll be fine by the end of the day. I'll be okay. Yeah, it's just because of that thing that you're drinking. If you could put that thing down, you'll be okay. And she's just like looking at him, like she's giving him the eye, like, I would kill you right now. If I could, I would kill you right now. Like, you'd be so dead. And she'd be warranted. Cheating is a hard pass. Like, it's a hard pass for me and a lot of other people. Like, it's just one of those things. But goes to Hlomu, and she's at work. So she changed the clothes that she was wearing. I don't know if she slept at Sandilia's place. I don't know if she slept there and woke up the next morning, but she wouldn't sleep out again, like without telling clearly where she was. I think it wasn't during the day, and then she changed. So she's at work. And her friend is like, woo, I would love to be those Kellogg's that you're eating, because she was having breakfast. And then she's like, it's not Kellogg's, it's muesli. And she's like, no, I mean your neck, meaning that she's got it all this morning. So she's like, what? Like, so she's like, what? And then she takes a mirror, like she scurries for a mirror, and she looks, and she has a love bite on her neck. While she's checking, her friend is like, yeah, and like, oh, someone's got it all. Clearly someone got it down and dirty the night before. And she's just like, Ngani, borrow me concealer or foundation. And she's like, yeah, I know Mkele loves you, but like, that is just too much. Like, a whole love bite, that is just dramatic. And she's like, Sheshisa. So Bunte's like, yeah, I'm getting it out. And then she gives it to her, and she basically snatches it and stands up, and she walks away. So Wuntle's like, what? I think in her head, she's just like putting two and two together. Like, if Hlomu got that from Qhawe, she wouldn't have reacted the way that she did. So Wuntle's like, Hlomza. Basically, like, Hlomza, how could you, Hlomza? How could you be cheating on your husband? Like, how? Girl, yeah. So Buntley's just like shook, and then it moves from them and it goes to the brothers at Ngoba's place. So Kusana's asking where Mkele is. So Qhawe tries to call Mkele, and somebody's just like, don't tell me he's still upset about what happened, Izolo. Don't tell me he's still upset about what happened, Izolo. And Qhawe's just like, he's not answering. So Nkosana's just like, Kanti, what's wrong with your brother? And then Qhawe's just like, but like, you guys, Qhawe has been doing these disappearing acts. This is not the first time that he's done it. He's the man who disappears. And Ngoba's just like, yeah, I also don't like this disappearing thing of Qhawe. Like, I don't understand where he is. He knows what's happening today. So it moves from them and it goes to Hlomu. And she is back home. So it's nighttime. She's back home. She gets into the bedroom. It's dark. So she switches on the light. As she switches on the light and turns around, Mkele is sitting on the bed. Mkele is sitting on the bed. And she's like, oh, Zulu, Ula, why are you leaving me? So he says, you're beautiful. And she says, thank you. So she's like confused. Like, where's this coming from? And then he says, and I can't believe that you're my wife and you're all mine. I'm thinking, Mkele's about to get deep. Mkele's about to get to Mkele that we know. So he says, I love you with everything inside of me. And then Yazguti, kwamanje akubonakali kanjalo, but I want you to look at me and feel safe. Yo, the guilt, guys, the guilt. I can see the guilt in Hlomu's face, like the guilt that she's feeling right now. For the rest of my life, every day, I will make sure that you are happy. Yo, guys, I'm just like, yo, why is this man having this conversation now? So he says that, it's like, for the rest of my life, I'll make sure every day that you are happy. And I won't allow anything or anyone to come in between us. So when he says that, like, I'm just like, Qhawe chose not to kill Sandile and came home and realized what he has. He has a gem. Like I said last week, Hlomu is a gem. Sandile knows Hlomu is a gem. Qhawe knows Hlomu is a gem. And, like, he can't lose her. So he says that, it's like, I'm not going to let anything or anyone come in between us because I love you. And then he kisses her hand. And then he says, oh, and then she says, what happened to your face? And he's like, what about it? And then she stands up and she's like, let me get something to clean it. So when she stands up and she goes to the bathroom, like, she stands by the mirror and she looks at herself, and the guilt is just like eating her up. Like, it is eating her. She deserves to feel that guilt. Just like Qhawe deserves to feel his guilt because he is the one who pushed her to another man's hands. But yeah, she takes the first aid kit, and it goes to Qhawe and his brothers, and they are having a conversation about how Zaya is coming out. They're like excited about that, and then Qhawe's just telling them about how difficult was it for him to get the money, and then he talks about how his difficulty literally had a butt this big. Then is the next gag. So when he says that, the minute he says that, Mandisa is walking in. Like, Mandisa's about, she's happier than she was in the morning. So she's about to walk in, and then she stops by the door because she hears him say that, like, the commissioner's wife, and how big her booty was and how hard it was for him to handle. Like, yo, it was a lot. Like, I had to rub a booty, like a big booty. I am in stitches, and everyone else is like in stitches, but like Mandisa is in tears. Like, Mandisa is hurt, guys. Like, she is hurt. I think what hurts her is that she thinks that the brothers knew that Qhawe was sleeping with the commissioner's wife. So, yeah, like, she is just like hurt. Like, you can see the hurt in her face and like tears in her eyes. And then it goes back to Hlomu and Qhawe at the house, and Hlomu is cleaning Qhawe's wounds. And then he's like, yo, yes, this reminds me of the first time that you did it. And she looks at him. It's like, yeah, remember when your dad beat me? Like, yo, your dad has heavy hands. So she smiles and he laughs. And then he says, he stops her. So as she's about to clean him again, he stops her and holds her hand. And he says to her, angifuni ukuthi senze lento futhi. And then she looks at him like confused. And then he says to her, because sometimes you go on in life thinking that you know what life is, but when you barely have scraped the surface, and until you meet that someone, and then you are reminded that you barely knew anything. I'm just like, until you meet that someone, guys. Why is this man like this? Like, so he says that to her, and you can see the old Hlomu starting to come back a little bit, and she's like smiling at him, and then they come and they make you know everything. And then that person comes in and make you know everything. And then she smiles at him, and then he's like to her, it's okay, I'll clean myself up. So he takes the kit, and he's still holding her hand. And as he's taking the kit, so he's leaning in, and she leans in too. And they have like a kiss. But it was genuine. Like, it wasn't like, she wasn't forcing anything. Like, it was tension that was good for a change between them. Like, it was a good tension, because it has been Antarctica for the longest time. Like, it has been really dry, guys. Like, it has been so dry. So yeah, he does that, and then he says, I'll clean myself. So he stands up and he walks away. So Hlomu is left sitting there, and regret is washing over Sis's face, because literally after in the book, when she slept with Sandile in the book, she was away, not even like at home, she was in Durban, and it happened because she was out with her friend, and then she bumped into Sandile because her friend decided to disappear on her, so she was left there alone at the restaurant. So she bumped into Sandile, and then they started walking, and they're having a conversation, and she was just thinking about how simple life would have been with Usandile, not the life that she has lived with Qhawe and his brothers, and the many problems that they've had, and the abuse that she's gone through. So they go back to Sandile's room, and they're having a conversation, and they're drinking, and then one thing leads to another. So when she was with Sandile, she was texting Qhawe, and then Qhawe didn't respond to a message that she has sent. So only after they finished whatever they did with Sandile, and she literally just like took her stuff and she got dressed, and then she saw the text from Qhawe, and he says, I love you more than anything. And she was just like she just committed the biggest mistake of her life. Whereas here it seemed like Hlomu was happy about cheating on her husband, and she was smiling after sleeping with another man. Only kind of felt regret when Qhawe said what he said. So anyways, it moves on from them, and it goes to Mandisa, and Mandisa took the money, and she is throwing it into a braai stand, guys. Mandisa's throwing the money into the braai stand, and she takes alcohol and she throws it over. She pulls it over the money. She takes matchsticks and she throws it in there. I'm like, what? No, Mandisa. Your fight is with Qhawe. Your fight is with Qhawe. Your fight is not with Nkosana. But now I just feel like she's upset because she heard Qhawe telling the brothers about a big booty, and she thinks everybody knew that Qhawe was cheating on her, and now she's retaliating. She is not being rational. That money took them forever to get, guys. Like, so much hard work. The fact that Qhawe was basically a gigolo, somewhat. He was getting thrown on beds, he's getting picked up, was dealing with a big booty. Just so. Now, the money is gone. The money is burning. Mandisa is just like here. Like, she is here. She's crying. I don't know if she's like regretting doing it or what, but if she did, she would have put out fire, something, would have done something, but no. She's just like distraught, and she's crying. She has her hands on her head. And I'm just like, Mandisa, you are going to be killed. Well, Zara's going to spend a few more months or a year in prison. I don't know. So, yeah, and then it goes to the brothers, commissioners there to get his money, and they offer him drinks. And he's like, no, I would rather we get to business first and then drinks after. And we're like, okay, so Nkosana whispers into Qhawe and Sambulo, go get the money. They go and they come back empty-handed, no money. So Nkosana's just like, and then they whisper in his ear and they tell him the bags is not there. So he turns to Qhawe and is like, Qhawe, Kanti, where's the money? Qhawe's like, I have a wife, Minella. Mandisa! So he calls Mandisa. Mandisa And then he's like, oh, maybe us. They go out to the back. And Mandisa standing by the fire, and she is just like watching this money burn. And Ngoba's like, what are you doing? And then Ngoba's looking at the braai stand. Kosana's looking at the braai stand. Qhawe is looking at the braai stand. Sambul is looking at the braai stand. And then this guy is like, and Ngoba's just like, Mandisa. Basically, what did you do? Kosana looks at Mandisa and then looks at the money. The disdain that he looked at Mandisa with when he looked at her again. You could tell everything, like how much he hates her. Like in that moment, it showed that he actually hates her. And then he just went for her and he strangled her. He just like, yo, guys. And everyone's like trying to get Kosana off of Mandisa. Like, you're gonna kill her at Yembo. I want to kill her. Yo, guys, it was bad. And she is just like seeing her death. Her deathbed. So it ends there. So yeah, this week was fire. Like, it wasn't like last week, and I'm excited they did that. They heard our complaints, but also it's just like they've changed the story so much. It's just like kind of giving us like DZ spells. But I don't know how Hlomu cheating on Qhawe, guys. For me, it doesn't sit well with me. Like it really doesn't. I love Qhawe. I love them together. And yes, in the book she did it, but like here they're making her out to be like she went out looking to cheat, and I don't like that. But yeah, we'll see what happens in the next coming episodes. I know Mandisa's not going to be dead, but I don't know how they're going to come up with the money to get Za out of prison, since Mandisa burns the money. So it's that. So for next week, there's like 4 episodes left, as I said in the beginning. So next week we're going to have to look out for how Hlomu and Qhawe move on from this hurdle that they found themselves in, and how Hlomu forgives herself also for stepping out of her marriage, and if this is just like a one-time only thing, whereas in the book it was a one-time only thing, and she even threatened Sandile that she's gonna get him killed. But I hope she is not pregnant with Sandile's baby, because in the story she does get pregnant, but it's with Qhawe's baby. But she's confused about who is the baby daddy. So luckily the baby comes out looking like everybody else in the family and every child in the family. So here, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how they're going to come together with the money to give to the commissioner for Za to come out. So that's going to be another thing. That what's going to happen with Balesa and the whole Qhawe thing. And what's going to happen with Sandile. And also Buntle kind of figuring out that Hlomu is cheating on Qhawe. I don't know how she's gonna move after that also. But yeah, like this week was top tier. I am kind of happy but not so happy, but yeah, it was better than the last 3 weeks that we have been basically impaled. We have been impaled to the wall. But yeah, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to comment down below, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you guys so much for watching.